On second thought, let's not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place.
That's right, baby. It's time for movie trailer trash. Enjoy.
All right, everybody. This is Bethany,
I'm Charlie.
and this is Movie Trailer Trash.
I couldn't contain myself.
So welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you are a return listener.
And if you're not currently listening, go suck a lemon.
Okay, well, those people will never hear that. So
Exactly.
So yeah, Movie Trailer Trash. We just watched the trailer for.
King Arthur, the Legend of the Sword.
There you go. Thanks, because I honestly didn't know the name of it. I was like, hopefully Charlie knows this.
You knew that awesome Led Zeppelin song that was playing during it, though.
Yeah. Is that what it was? I don't know. I just couldn't tell. It felt weird with that trailer, but okay. I digress.
Anyway, we just watched the trailer. We watched the final trailer.
Which is 2.5 minutes long.
I saw the original trailer when it first started being advertised. And had no feelings about it, so we didn't do an episode on it. But it's coming out in May 12th, so pretty soon here.
Yeah, just around the corner.
And the final trailer just came out, and my brother texted me about elephants that were involved, and so I decided, I figured that we should watch it.
Yeah. So interesting for me because I have not even heard of it. So I don't know how that happened.
Well, here's the big thing about it. It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yes, who does Sherlock Holmes?
Well, he does a lot of
with
things.
Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, but that's what everyone knows him for.
Well, no, everyone knows him for Snatch and Lock, Stock. Those are like his defining movies
no,
as a
that's
director.
what people who know him for. But people who are the average person know him for Sherlock.
Well,
average people watched Sherlock with Robert Downey Jr.'s.
Well, so here's the thing about Robert Downey Jr.'s.
Sorry.
Okay, so the thing about Guy Ritchie, right? He kind of has phases. And this is just the story of King Arthur. Everyone knows it, whatever. And he has his Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and Rock and Rolla. And those are like three, with your size. That's a great movie.
Only movie I've never been able to sit all the way through.
That's just because you had the hots for me.
Had to turn it off.
We were in college and you just
No, it's an awful movie. And if anybody is out there thinking about listening to watching Rock and Rolla, don't do it. Turn away, run.
It's a great movie. It has
Maybe if you are full on British and you understand anything they're saying.
It has Gerard Butler, Tom Hardy, and Jeremy Piven's in it, and so is the bad guy from the Sherlock Holmes movie from the first one.
Filling a movie with famous people does not equal being a good movie.
Anyway, so he has those movies which are kind of like his original style that have all of the like super Cockney British accents and the freezing and his like interesting camera techniques.
Yeah.
And that's kind of phase one of Guy Ritchie, which those movies are amazing and I love all of them equally.
Sure.
And then you kind of have his phase two, which is like this when people give him money, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is like these Sherlock Holmes movies, which are great, and anyone who thinks they're not great,
awesome, yeah.
they're wrong. Because a lot of people like to think that just because Benedict Cumberbatch is a great Sherlock Holmes doesn't mean that there can't be any good other Sherlock Holmes.
Well, and that's just ridiculous because honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen a bad iteration of Sherlock Holmes. It's an amazing story. If you're a decent actor, it's going to be good. And I would say Robert Downey Jr. is an excellent actor.
Well, yeah.
And Jude Law is great in that as well.
Jude Law is great.
They're a great duo. They have, just like Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch have great chemistry. So do Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr.
So do
they. Different. They have a different portrayal, but yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And that's like people who are like, I like Chipotle, not Qdoba. It's like, okay, you can like both. They are very different.
You're allowed to eat and watch whatever you want. You could watch Chipotle and eat Sherlock Holmes.
They're like,
Robert Downey Jr. version.
Freebird? No, I just like Chipotle.
I am a Chipotle kind of
Limit
person.
yourself then, why don't you?
And so those are great movies. He also directed Man from U.N.C.L.E., the new one. The new Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. That's a good movie.
Which is another great movie.
Watch that one.
And then you have this movie, which is King Arthur, It's just the story of King Arthur and the sword and the stone and the whole situation, only this time with more elephants. And I think
Oh, is that your one thing?
and I also kind of think that there's going to be more magic than you normally
How
hear
much do you actually know of the story of King Arthur?
about. I know what was told in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay, see, I've never seen all of that movie. Couldn't handle it. Got bored about 10 minutes in. So, of course,
So this is
in fairness, I was 13. So when you're 13, you don't have as much patience for weird, dry British humor. But nonetheless,
that's one of the greatest comedies of all time.
All I know of King
Maybe
Arthur.
the greatest comedy of all time.
Oh my God! Stop it with the over dramatic statements.
It's not. It's like
All
widely
I
agreed
know
upon.
of King Arthur myself is The Sword and the Stone.
Oh yeah, the bad Disney movie.
Yeah, the kids movie.
Yeah.
I don't really remember it because it wasn't a good one. It wasn't one I owned. But I just remember that there was a little boy. Nobody could pull the sword out of the stone, and the little boy could. That's all I remember. So I have no idea how it ends, and I didn't realize there was so much battling to be done. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a very action-packed movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. It's just the whole. There's a king, then there's a rightful heir somewhere in the world who comes back to claim his.
Yeah, the
throne.
classic story.
Right. That's
classic story.
Right. That's been the same thing forever.
And it never gets old.
It gets old.
Oh, I like this story. It's a fun story. It's like the underdog rising up
It is a
to
fun
his
story.
rightful place.
And the thing about this one, okay, is when I first saw that first trailer, I was very convinced that it looked absolutely terrible and boring and that I wouldn't
Okay,
want to
fair
see
enough.
it ever.
Which I haven't seen that trailer. I've only seen this one. but-
In this one, it kind of looked fun.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to say. It definitely looks fun.
Not necessarily in the same way as Sherlock Holmes and Man from U.N.C.L.E.,
No different.
but it looks like it doesn't look like it's taking itself very seriously, and
But
there's going
still
to be
seriously, but not too seriously.
and there's going to be a lot of magic happening, and there's a lot of obviously Guy Ritchie interesting camera angles.
What is it about the magic? All I saw was Jude Law had like weird looking eyes at one point.
He had glowing eyes and smoke coming out of his hands. The sword
Okay.
is magical. When he
Okay,
picks
well,
it up,
yeah,
the rocks
that's
start
true.
floating.
Okay. I guess I wasn't as observant as you.
That is by the way, I've discovered the trendy way to show just like general superpower is to have rocks float.
Like the moment a person realizes that they have superpower, everything is floating around them.
No, just small pebbles around them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I
That's
mean.
it.
Rocks.
Like nothing. There's no like bugs that are being lifted up and hanging in midair.
If they were, it wouldn't look weird because bugs fly all the
There'd
time.
be some like cats just floating near them.
Well, anyway, okay, so a couple thoughts on this. That guy, the main guy who plays Arthur, what is his name?
I don't know, but
oh,
I know
thought
that
you
he's
were the one that had that information.
Sons of Anarchy. I can look it
yeah,
up if you
no,
want.
it's okay. Yeah, he's from Sons of Anarchy, and he looks a lot like the guy who plays the main character in Vikings.
Charlie Hunnam.
Hunnam. Hunman. Anyway, all right. So, a lot of people like that guy a lot. People who like Sons of Anarchy do, at least.
I believe he was also in Green Street Hooligans.
Oh yeah, maybe.
look that up
But
as
anyway,
well.
he looks just like the guy from Vikings, or I guess we could say the guy from Vikings looks just like him.
Right.
Who's also a good actor. So those two should definitely play brothers in something sometime. But
Maybe when they make the second King Arthur.
yeah, there you go. But I think that guy's cool, and I think he's cool for this type of a role. And Jude Law, he looks like the perfect kind of evil, snooty king. That's fine.
No, Jude Law looks like he's going to be really good in this. He's like
Yeah.
really overacting and everything,
Yeah,
and
he'll
that looks
be-
kind of cool.
He'll be good. But the main thing that I thought the whole time we were watching it was this is like 300.
Yeah, it's very similar. Or well, it's not similar story-wise,
No,
but it
but
kind of looks the same.
The glowiness, the shininess of all of it, like the fact that it's all really dark, like grays and blues, like in the color scheme, but then it's also really shiny and
Maybe the
metallic.
elephants got you there.
No, and the elephants, absolutely.
Yeah.
The elephants, oversized, ridiculous-sized elephants
Where are
stomping
all
on
these
soldiers. That
medieval
looks just like 300.
Ancient people getting all these elephants
I don't know.
in places where they do not belong.
Why do they have so many elephants?
What are all these elephants doing in England?
And how do they train them to fight in war? Is that a thing? I wonder. In history, how many? I mean, Alexander the Great had elephants.
Well, it's just like any other animal, like a horse or a,
Yeah, I guess. I'm just like, leave the elephants alone.
a rhino. I think a rhino is in 300.
Maybe. But anyway, so here's the thing. I like the movie 300. I was young when I saw it.
It's not very good, but it
By
was
young, I mean
great for the
16.
time because it like was really interesting the way that
It was
he did
artistic
everything.
and beautiful. But I was 16 when I saw it, and I liked it. Now, here's the thing. I have no idea what Rotten Tomatoes score 300 had.
I don't either.
But I feel like if I did know that, that would be a good guess for what this is going to be, because it feels a lot like that. It feels fun because 300 is fun. Like, it has the awesome badass lines with the "This is Sparta" and with the woman like getting that guy back. You know what I'm talking about. There's some really cool badass parts, is all I'm saying. Anyway, you know, the woman is all like, I can't remember what she says. She like repeats the line to him and she gets him back,
Gets him back.
kills him,
Gets him back for what?
rape.
Rape. Classic rape.
Gets
Get
him with a
back.
knife. You know, there's some really cool, like, iconic moments in it. Like when they all put their shields together. Like, that's the reason they didn't let the poor deformed guy in, is because they have to be able to hold their shields at a certain height.
Mm-hmm.
And they put them together, and it's just beautiful and incredible. And there's like this camaraderie and brothership and brotherhood.
You just like the abs.
Obviously the abs are beautiful, but like the way that the soldiers fall off into the water and like everything about it is so artistic and interesting.
What do you think happened to the Spartans evolutionary wise for them to have no hair on their bodies at all?
I think that they just use knives every morning to scrape it off.
Knives?
That's how people used to cut their hair off their face, just with a sharp edge.
Do you think that Zack Snyder waxed them?
Oh my goodness. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Most of it was CGI'd on them, I think.
Really?
Painted on them.
No.
Oh yeah. I mean, they definitely did a lot of work to make their abs look like that. They were strong guys.
Painted, probably.
They were strong guys.
What are these, strong
Sorry.
guys or something?
But they also definitely did some special contouring with makeup and such.
Yeah.
But okay, we digress again.
Enough about Gerard Butler's abs.
It reminds
Gerard
me.
Butler.
It reminds me of that a lot, because also just like the fight scenes where it like goes in slow motion all of a sudden. And in that way, I was like, oh, this looks fun. This looks interesting. And like, you know, you just want to watch people fight and be like, oh, cool, elephants and fighting. But then at the same time, I don't think it'll be great. And I think that that's probably how 300 was received. Like, I bet it didn't get super high.
Well, no,
on
it's not
Rotten
going to be
Tomatoes.
like the greatest, like most thought-provoking movie of all time, but it's also not going to be just, you know, it's right in that medium spot that it won't get a lot of money because it's not ridiculous, over-the-top Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah.
But it won't be seen as like a really good movie because it doesn't take itself seriously and it's not being,
Well, and
it's
I do
not going to
think-
try to be realistic.
I mean, as far as it being a Guy Ritchie movie, I feel like it's a weird choice for him. And I feel like he's just kind of piggybacking off of the love of that Roman kind of era right
no,
now.
he's just going through and remaking all of these
Everything.
classic stories. Well,
Well,
Man from U.N.C.L.E. isn't a
okay.
classic story, but Sherlock Holmes, this one, King Arthur, and
Yeah.
also he is going to do, or at least rumored to do, the live-action remake of Aladdin. And
okay.
also, when I saw that
Why?
on the IMDb, I saw that the rumored actor that's going to play the genie, Will Smith.
Disney, I am angry. Why are you doing this to us? I'm sorry, but at the very least, get a comedian. Look, Will Smith, he is a funny guy. I'm going away for a second. I'm going away from the movie for a second. Will
Yeah.
Smith is a funny guy. Sure, he can make me laugh. He can make a funny face, right? But Robin Williams, it was an amazing comedian.
Who would you get to be the genie right now?
Oh my God, I don't know, but they have to honor Robin Williams' spirit, his life. They have to honor his life. Robin Williams was an amazing person. Gone too soon. Taken too soon. I am sad anytime I think of it. You can't just replace him with some Will Smith. That's awful. I can't even imagine.
I don't know what that would be like. Now, it
Would
did
he
say,
do
it
a
just
rap?
Said, it just
Would he
said
do a rap
rumored.
instead of the, like, you know, you never had a friend like me? It would be you never had a friend like me, but it would be some rap.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to hear.
Can your friends do this? Can your friends do that?
I don't want to hear 50-year-old Will Smith rapping about being a genie.
I actually, now I really do want to hear it. But, yeah, I don't know. Who would you pick? Now that we're on this
I
little
don't know. If I had to pick
tangent.
like a comedian, you know, it would be okay. No, this would be bad, but it would be really funny. Is if it was just like went a completely different direction with it and just made it Louis C.K. and just made him like
gosh.
just
like
made him like depressed and grumbling.
and irritated. That could be really funny. I was just gonna say Billy Eichner.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
I mean, I could see it actually, because his thing is Billy on the Streets. For those of you who don't know,
Hey,
and he goes around just yelling at people.
That's a good one.
And I could see him, like the genie when he's like, gives you such a crack in the neck. He's very like over the top and yelly.
I can hear it in my head.
Oh my god! Yeah. Oh god, it would be so
Was
funny.
that your Billy
That was my
Eichner?
hang on. Oh my god.
Sounds like Ethel Merman.
What? Okay. What's something he says? Like, what is wrong with you? Was that good? No,
Yeah,
I'll
you
work
nailed
on that because I don't really have that one down.
So King Arthur.
Oh, okay. So hang on. First of all, Disney, stop it. Stop it. Stop making these live action movies. I don't care how much money you're making. Do original stuff. Be cool. Be what you should be. Okay. So back to this King Arthur movie. I still think it reminds me of all that stuff. It reminds me of 300, but then it's like, well, okay, we have the Viking show right now.
Does it remind you of
We
300
have-
more than it reminds you of Sherlock Holmes?
Yes.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Because I got a lot of Sherlock Holmes in it, and I think it's just because,
Jude Law's face.
well, it might be Jude Law's face, but I think it's also because he shot whatever time period England in that same way, where it's kind of like shiny but dirty.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and especially in the second Sherlock movie. That's the one with the wood scene where they're running through the woods. That scene where that's the thing he does do really well is when it's an action moment and then all of a sudden time slows down and you see kind of the intricate detail of the cannon exploding the tree or whatever.
He's a great cinematographer who is also a great storyteller, unlike Zack Snyder.
Good point. But yeah, I got some of that.
He's just
That
being
slowing
given
down of the action and stuff. I definitely got some of that in this trailer.
a lot of people say that with these movies that he's making, with these remakes and stuff, is that he is being given too much money. And so, like, all of his stuff is becoming gimmicky instead of he was doing it, like, on purpose because he had to, because he didn't have a big budget. And so he had to do things in an interesting way. He didn't have time to, choreograph this big fight scene. And so he slowed it down at certain parts to make it more impactful.
Yeah.
And things like that. And so now it's just kind of becoming a parody of himself type thing.
And that, you always have the danger of that happening.
But whenever that happens, the thing that can always make it better is if you add elephants.
Shut up. I disagree. All right, do you want to talk about where, when, and how?
Where, when, how we're going to see this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where? When? How?
Are you going to see this movie? All right. Where, when, and how are you going to see this movie?
Thank you for asking, Charlie. I don't think I'm going to see this movie. I got to be honest with you. I don't, like I said, like during it, I was like, oh, this does look fun. I mean, the whole time was just thinking back to This Is Sparta, man. This is Sparta, you know? I was thinking back to that awesome fight scene. Like the fighting scenes in that are amazing. And I was seeing that in like a lot of these different things. I do think it'll be a little too much magic for my liking. Because I really just like the fighting and stuff. I don't know. I think if somebody were to have it on, or if it was like on TV when I was flipping through, like let's say back in the day when we used to have cable, if I was like flipping through the TV and it was on, I could see myself getting very caught up in it. But it would have to be put in front of me. Either I'd have to flip to it on accident, or I'd have to go to a friend's house and they'd have to already have it on. I don't think I would ever just be like, you know what I really want to watch? King Arthur. That just doesn't sound like something I'm going to do. So I'm going to say I'm not going to see this movie unless a friend of mine has it on when I walk into their house, and then I'll get caught up in it.
I think that I want to see this movie on Netflix because mainly I think it's going to be on Netflix
Fair enough.
fairly quickly after it is out of theaters.
It has that kind of look to it.
It seems like it will.
Yeah,
That's my
well,
only reason.
I don't know, because like it's based on a story we've all heard before.
Although it seems like Netflix is kind of
it probably won't make a
getting rid
ton
of
of money.
more and more of movies that they don't make themselves. Like almost like I feel like every time I look through all of the stuff, more and more of it is like Netflix produced, Netflix
Well, yeah,
original.
that's great, and they can keep making stuff, but they'll still want to have some movies, blockbuster movies
They'll
from
still
other
want to have
places.
some Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, do they not have Sherlock on there? I don't think they do.
No, they don't. I don't think
That's
they
okay.
ever did.
I own Sherlock 1 and 2.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, so that's my thing. You're gonna see it on Netflix.
I want to see it on
I could see
Netflix.
that.
I'd probably see it. Here's I'm going to watch it on the day after a national holiday.
Okay.
So like if there is let's say
like Memorial Day.
a Christmas or
Oh.
a Thanksgiving, like a large holiday where the next day you're just exhausted and you have nothing to
where
do.
you have the day off.
Yeah, you have the day off. Yeah,
Like you
have
probably
nothing to
took the day
do.
off, yeah.
You are just sitting around tired and full of food, and
That would be a good one to watch with family, probably.
and you watch it with your family.
Unless
and
there's
you
some
have
really
fun.
terrible rape scenes and
Just
such.
so much
'Cause sometimes you
gratuitous
get that.
rape in this movie.
No. No, but sometimes you
No.
get that. Like, okay, 300. I was like, oh, this will be great to watch with my parents. And I was like, oh, I forgot about all the weird sex stuff and boobs.
They're not. It's not very long.
No, it's not. And it was fine. It
And
definitely wasn't the most awkward thing I watched with my parents. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if this doesn't have anything
Well,
too
also,
over the
we're
top,
all
it would be a
adults now.
good family
It'll
thing.
be okay.
Not
It
all-
doesn't.
Not
There's
everyone.
there's
not
not going
everyone
to be.
is an adult.
There's not going to be 15 minutes of just like
Well, yeah.
showing full penetration of someone.
Okay, calm
The-
down.
I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is I was going to say you were right, dependent on whether or not it has any over-the-top gratuitous sex. And I noticed that with a lot of Roman type era stuff, a lot of Game of Thrones, Vikings, whatever, like the theme right now is like, oh, it'll be really badass is if we just show rape. That's been
What?
the thing.
No, they
yeah.
don't. They don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's what it's so weird. It's so weird that they're like, this is how you show that it was bad times back then. And it's like, yeah, it is.
With rape.
but-
I mean, that's
about as bad as it can get, but
PG-13.
it is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So yeah, this would be perfect for a Thanksgiving family movie.
Well,
you
I mean,
just-
not like on Thanksgiving.
No, but maybe
No, it's
later during the day
after.
you ate. Let's say you do a Thanksgiving lunch like my family often does. By the time 5 o'clock rolls around, you're too stuffed to eat dinner, but you can have pumpkin pie and watch a movie.
Yeah, and it's King Arthur time.
Yeah, see? But I'm seeing what you're
You
saying.
don't
the day
really
after
have
would
to
work
pay
also.
attention to it. It's just like fun to have on. You could be on your phone if you want.
Yeah, if
you
you
could
gotta
be.
go to the bathroom or
Yeah, if you
go
gotta
do some dishes or
go
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. If you're making a dessert.
If you're
You can check on
finishing
it.
up a dessert.
All right, so I think that's a good one.
Okay.
Let's move on to Rotten Tomatoes.
Sounds good.
Rotten Tomatoes percentages.
All right, Charlie. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes folks, the critics at Rotten Tomatoes, as if that was a thing, what do you think the critics are going to give this?
The CEO of Rotten Tomatoes will probably give this. No, I think that critics will give it low. I think it'll get a 60% from critics and a
Not bad.
68% from audience.
Not bad at all. And I think that's realistic. But I was going to go even lower. How low can you go now?
How low can you go now?
I would say critics give it a 58. Just straight up.
I was toying
just-
with the idea of 59, but I was just like, that just sounds like a
I mean,
bad
it is
movie.
Guy Ritchie, yeah, but I could see it being that. I do think the audience will give it higher, and I think people will be like, that was fun. I liked it, and that's the way that people talk.
I don't know, because I think that people are expecting,
What?
a certain level of quality with Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, but you just look at the trailer. You can see what it is. I mean, no matter what, it's not going to be that quality because it's just the story of King Arthur.
What if
Unless there's some crazy twist or something that blows everyone's mind.
What if for some reason in the next few years they just decide to make it illegal for movies to release trailers?
That would be ridiculous, and that would put us out of business.
And you just yes, because of all of the money we make doing this.
Yeah.
Because you would just go see movies based on movie posters, titles, and like who's making it and in it.
Yeah, that's stupid. But let me get to my score.
Okay, sorry.
Audience score, I'm going to give it a 66.
66.
Yep.
What did I say?
You said 68
Oh, okay.
or something like that. Look, does it matter? What if I wanted to say the exact same score as you?
Your Price is Right in me.
Okay, well, we've never had any type of scorekeeping.
Well,
on
though you
this
did just
before.
get
Oh,
Colossal.
you're right.
Perfect.
Is that the first time we've ever gotten a perfect score?
I don't know because
We didn't
I
start
haven't really
keeping
been
track
keeping
of
track.
them early on.
Yeah.
Because I think like one of the really early ones you got perfectly right.
Nailed it.
But I'm not sure. That could be in my mind. But everybody, all of you out there, all of our listeners, I got a perfect score on Colossal. If you want to go back and listen to that episode, it's a good, fun episode, I would say. And I said that the critics would give it a 78, and they did. Exactly. And I'm really proud of that because I really felt like I knew what I was doing on that one. You know, sometimes it's a stab in the dark.
This is not a press conference.
No, I'm proud. I'm excited. I want people to know.
What was going through your mind when you said 78%?
In fairness, though, I would say it's at least 78% worthy.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Colossal, I would say go see it. It's not in all of the theaters, so sometimes you got to look around. But it's Anne Hathaway. It's fun. She's a monster. It's kind of cool.
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. So, I mean, that's just a fun little tidbit. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Gonna do a fup.
You're going to do what?
A fup.
I'm going to do a fup.
A few
Fups.
plugs.
Oh.
No, you know, check us out at mttpodcast.com. We're putting up new blogs all the time. We're really kind of ramping up with blogs.
Ramping up with
lately.
blogs.
Yeah, lately we've been putting up a lot of blogs about different movies and our thoughts on them. Also, you can find out how close we were to being right, like me with Colossal being perfectly right. You can go back and see, you know, whether or not we said you should see it.
The next one will probably be this one.
Yeah, the next one to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you can go for any of the ones that are coming out. You know, we still have some up there that haven't come out yet. You can click on the Should You See It button
Mm-hmm.
and see what we said. If you don't
Exactly.
have time to listen to every episode. I mean, we have 60 episodes already. This is number 61.
61. Big
So-
61.
So I get it. If you don't have time to listen to all of them, check out the Should You See It button at mttpodcast.com.
Absolutely. And as always, go follow Entertainment Buffet at Entertain Buffet. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel on YouTube. Also rate and review us on iTunes. That gives us a lot of money. No, fans.
No, that doesn't. No. But yeah, that would be great. One new thing, guys. Check us out on Facebook, Movie Trailer Trash Podcast. Check us out there and please like us. You'll get special Facebook only content. And also, if you have time, give us a little review on Facebook.
Absolutely.
You know, tell us what you think. And then, you know, we'll learn from that.
Yeah. Might even read it.
Yeah, I bet we will. All right, guys. So we will catch you later. Check us out on all those places.
So long.
We're knights of the round table, we dance where we're able. We do routines, we call scenes, to footwork impeccable. We dine well here in Camelot, we eat ham and jam and Spamalot.